书接上文，昨天咱不是说到了川大爷的事儿，在外媒那边可是热度太高了，可以说炸了锅了。那么在普通人视角又怎么说呢？我在外网看了一些在现场参加当天活动的人发表的看法，想跟大家伙分享一下，我就自己节选翻译一下，再稍加解读吧。我们先看一个算是热度最高的目击者说的话，这段已经被一些外媒和谐了，我这已经是别人留下的一段，为了播出呢，我也要做些处理，大家且看且珍惜。
Couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up. In probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking, I'm estimating here, I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof. Right. We could clearly see him with a absolutely. We're pointing at him. The down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof. Oh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes, looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof. Just standing there like this, and next thing you know, fire ring out. 100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling...
They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is it on all of these roofs here? This is not a big place.
Did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead, and that was it. It was over.
这个人说的话呢，我们都听明白了。他在现场留意到了那个爬上屋顶的人，也有立刻报告给在场的叔叔啊、安保人员呢。但是那个人竟然大大方方的在屋顶2分钟没有事儿，做足了准备。这个话呢是这个现场大哥说的，至于是真是假，我们不知道。反正这段话现在保留下来的地方已经不多了，仅供各位参考。还有一个个在现场惊慌失措的普通人。
And then I jumped over the barrier and put my hand on the guy's head that was physically.
Who was it? Do you know? This is not Trump, though. This is another person.
Yeah. Watching him, I heard pop, 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 and my son's like, get down. And next thing you know, everybody around us was down. And then once we got down, we was up at the top of our bleacher. The men were yelling to come over because he had shot a man and a woman.
I was in the set of bleachers, the very far left of the podium where Donald Trump speak. Was there with friends. I heard several comments. The man beside me suffered a gun to the head. Started evacuating the bleachers, and then I helped carry the man out of the bleachers to a tent that was behind the bleachers.
You helped carry the man yourself. What was his condition when you were carrying him?
He's deceased.
It took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was, and then it was just getting out of there and helping some other person out with her child, and we got out, and that was the end of that.
一个年轻女孩在川大爷所在位置的侧面，她讲述了自己的亲身经历。
And all of a sudden, I just hear these 4, and everybody's screaming "drop!" and you can see the blood splatter on his face, and it was just so scary.
So you were behind Trump?
No, I was on Trump's left side. Well, I think when the fired, that he was facing towards us. Because when they took him out, he was that way, but he was directly in front of us. So we watched him go down and hit the ground, and everybody was screaming get down, get down. He's throwing his fists up in the air, but it was so scary because we were 5 feet away from the guy.
You think he was hit?
I do. The blood was all over his face. I think he had to have been hit.
What do you think about this craziness?
It's just honestly so scary. You see all these things about and you never think it's going to be you until it is. And I was just on the ground, and I was thinking, you don't know, what their target is, if it's just Trump supporters or if it's, Trump. So I was just so scared. I was laying on the ground. I was like, am I going to be next? I thought he was the guy. After that, it's just the man.
What was going through your mind?
When I was just laying on the ground and just, praying it wasn't going to be me, and I called my dad. And my dad thought I was messing with him because he heard people in the back screaming Donald Trump. because when he put his fist up in the air, I guess people started screaming, and he thought I was messing with him, and I was like, no, like I was upset, I was crying, and I was being so serious with him. I was like, Dad, like there's a we're all on the ground, and it was just so scary.
What do you think? Why would someone do this?
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, he obviously does have a lot of haters and a lot of people that would want to see him gone. But I'm just confused on how the security let that slide, you know? Like, just, you know, so crazy to me.
Well, in one way you just witnessed political and U.S. history.
Yeah.
Few assassinations and attempts.
Yeah, that's what me and my mom were talking about.
一个小女孩都说得出来，这个事情的发生啊，反映了目前他们国家的社会问题挺严重的，一切都在走下坡路，一次机制越乱。
I don't know. I honestly don't have an answer for why somebody would do this. I guess just trying to take him out. You know, on the other hand, you got to get him out of there somehow.
What do you think about, you know, someone even just, you know, trying this, just the craziness of it all? I mean,
yeah, I honestly just think like our society has gone so downhill, and with like all the like just everything that's been happening recently, it's just such a mess, and it's just like this stuff didn't happen before, and now that it's happening now, it's just so scary. It makes you not even want to like go to stuff like this, you know.
You were having a good time?
This is the first time I've ever been to a Trump rally, and you know it's my first time, probably going to be my last now. It's just so scary, and you hear about this stuff, and like I said, you just, you know what I mean, you brush it off until it's you. It's such a scary thing. Yeah, they screamed, they said everybody get down, and the people around me dropped. There was two rows in front of me, and they were reserved, so we were the closest we could be. We woke up at 4:30 in the morning and drove the 2 hours here. We got here, we waited in line for 4 hours, so we were very close, and you know, they were screaming, they were like, it was loud, like everybody get down, and I heard 4, and there was like a pause and one other and people started lifting their heads and they started screaming and they said get back.
刚过了一天，昨天我预言的4个连锁反应已经逐渐的应验了。川大爷的支持率已经飙升至71%，对比另一位大爷呢只有10%几。而我说的外媒啊，会有人想着避重就轻，不会浓墨重彩的帮川大爷说话。到目前来看呢，也的确是这个趋势，但是不妨碍坊间的热度一再提高。有人开始卖他高举拳头照片的 T 恤衫，有人呢把那张图纹在了身上。估计拍短剧、拍电影的也得有啊。能把这个 ZZ 话题炒热到全民八卦角度的，还真的是前无古人后无来者。不过那些稍微深入一下，认为这反映了美国严重社会问题的，比如说应该将禁 bill 移上日程的观点，似乎就热度没有那么高了。所以呢，咱们就一起看个热闹吧。他们爱觉醒不觉醒，睡着还是醒着，对他们美国人来说呀，可能只是做梦和做白日梦的区别吧。
Boom, 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 going. It's crazy. I guess it's reflective of our society that's become the last bunch of years. It's just ridiculous. I think it's crazy. It's, you know, when was the last time we saw something like this? Back in the 60s with Bobby and JFK and Martin Luther King? But I don't know. I don't know. It's nuts.